All right, that was good. Okay. I felt the colonial ancestors shaking their
United will never be defeated. The people united will never be defeated.
So last night, 6 of us were out and we were just going to chalk the campus, and we started out in front of ISC 3. And we were there literally no longer than 5 minutes. If that's actually kind of pushing it, was probably like between 3 to 5 minutes. And the police came. And we were using Crayola chalk, like the same way that everyone does every day. Like, it's such a common thing to see chalk on this campus, especially after the recent election. Like, that's a thing. It ended up with 3 police officers coming out. 2 of them actually engaging with us. The third one just kind of watching, which was very strange. Kind of telling us off. They filed a report on us. And when I tell you that we had barely written anything, like, literally the most we'd gotten out was Black Lives Matter, like not even the TER, on the ground in front of ISC. So that's kind of why this conference matters, because, no one ever wants to jump to conclusions, but I think that it's a little bit too much of an eyebrow raiser to pretend that this would have just happened to anyone who went out there.
Yeah, one of our organizers thought of Built on Our Backs, and it's really appropriate, obviously, because the college was literally built on our backs. I mean, the Wren was built by slaves, and slaves lived in Wren, in the basement. That's kind of like our tagline, but the theme is really educate, agitate, organize.
So the educate, agitate, and organize was the part that I came up with. And I got that from just going to protests, and that's like a major theme that you see on people's boards, that they're like chanting in the streets. And it's also just a good philosophy. I mean, if you cannot organize or agitate anything if you don't even know what you're like talking about. So like that's the educate part. And then the agitate part is kind of like the direct action, the protest, the things that like disrupt the norm. And then the organize is like, okay, so you've done this protest and that was like a good time and you feel like you got your voice heard. But how do we sustain that? Like, how do we do movement building and engage in that work? Just because I played such a major role in bringing her here, I'm really excited for our Keynote event, which is this Sunday, with Rosa Clemente, and she's an Afro-Latinx scholar activist. She's at Amherst right now working on her PhD, so she's just really like this prolific scholar while also a community organizer, also like an event planner. She's just like a multifaceted threat. So I'm interested in seeing her live. I've never seen her before in any other space, and I'm excited to see what she brings to William & Mary.
I have to say though, it's a weird place to be, a place that celebrates colonialism and erases African enslaved people. This is crazy. When I drove here and I drove through, I was like, we've normalized everything that is wrong in this country. We don't have the luxury to be in these spaces and not speak truth to power and sacrifice at this point. We've had too many people, too many of our ancestors. The spirits are right here in colonial Williamsburg.
I'm excited for all the events. They're all going to be great, honestly. Like, we put a lot of effort into this. But I think I'm most excited for the march because, that's when all the students are going to be together. It's going to be really a show of solidarity among the students.
It is our duty to fight for our freedom.
It is our duty to fight for our freedom.
No. It is our duty to fight for our freedom.
It is our duty to fight for our freedom.
It is our duty to win.
It is our duty to win.
We must love each other and support each other.
We must love each other and support each other.
We must love each other and protect each other.
We must love each other and protect each other.
As an ally, I will amplify, uplift, and support marginalized people.
Built on their backs. Built on their backs. Built on their backs. Built on their backs.
The reason this conference needs to continue, especially needs to continue on William & Mary, is because we have a legacy that is racist, and we have a present that is racist, and I think that people sometimes don't even want to engage with the past, but they especially just want to gloss over the present. But for those of us who are engaged in this work, and especially people of color, and within that, Black people, we know that that racist legacy is informing the present. And so we need to continue to raise the consciousness of the campus.
Moving on from college, we're not going to have the same sort of environment that we have here. We live in a bubble, and it's almost sometimes an echo chamber for some students if they hang out in the same groups. You don't get a lot of diverse opinions. But in the real world, you have to know that people are not going to have the same exact opinions as you, or they're going to have different experiences, and you don't want to invalidate those. So educating yourself on these issues, which is the first part of our theme, is extraordinarily important, just to be informed first and foremost. Then the agitate part, that's just accepting that you might have a viewpoint that is invalidating to someone else, and that you should just check that and make sure that you can understand someone else's point of view. And then the organized part is not necessarily you have to go out and protest all the time, but that that there are changes that need to be done systemically, and that you can, in a small part or a big part, play a role in that change.